Hi HubSpotters, now we're moving on to the data privacy and consent tab. So I've got here as usual by clicking the settings button in the top right hand corner and then selecting privacy and consent in the sidebar. So you can see there's quite a lot going on here, but it's a bit overwhelming, but it's not as bad as you might first think at first glance. So first tab is data privacy, and what we're going to do here is if we are holding sensitive data in HubSpot, and that'll be information about things like bank account details or even super sensitive or highly sensitive data like health conditions and things, then you need to configure that data set in here in HubSpot. Otherwise, when it comes to standard data privacy, so GDPR in the UK and the EU, you can switch on your data privacy settings here. So you toggle that on and it'll ask you if you're sure, and when you do, it opens up a whole lot of other options for you. So for instance, you can require the legal basis to communicate with your contacts. If you switch that on, then HubSpot will make sure that it won't send emails to people unless you have a legal basis to do it. So it's protecting you and it's protecting your HubSpot account. You'll then be asked to go through your data privacy setup. So you can update your email subscriptions, you can update your forms and follow the links to do that, update your meeting scheduling pages, update your cookie consent, and customize your consent language. There's some useful information here about the GDPR and how to navigate it and some other stuff there, well worth a read. If you don't switch this on, which isn't recommended, but if you don't switch it on, then you won't be required to do some of these things. HubSpot won't protect you in the way that it can, okay? If we then move over to the consent options themselves, what you'll see is some kind of default text that you can use around the consent options that you're going to be used in your portal. So once you switch these data privacy settings on, these will become active. Okay, so you can see that when it comes to your legitimate interest, HubSpot's going to provide this sort of default text, privacy policy default text. When it comes to consent to communicate, when it comes to your default subscriptions, you can set here, and then the consent to processing data and the implicit consent content is here. So it's all here, all done, but you really need to make sure that your legal team are happy with this, right? This is out of the box. HubSpot have done it. I use it in our business. We're a very low risk profile, but it's well worth you checking the wordings in all of this with your own legal team to ensure you've got the best advice. Same thing when it comes to the cookies on HubSpot on the website. You can add your domains to the HubSpot cookie, and it'll serve the cookie banner on there, which is a warning about using cookies. And you can analyze what's going on in your portal on the data privacy and consent analysis page. Now you can see in this test portal we've got 250 contacts, and we've got region is missing from all of them there. It's showing me what's going on with the data itself, but it's showing I've got the legal basis for processing data is missing from almost all of the contacts, right? So this is a really useful page to have a look at what's going on in your portal to make sure that you're up to speed. Remember, all of your contacts need to have a lawful basis for processing, and if you're going to market to them, they need to have a lawful basis for communication as well. And this is it. This is the center of the data privacy and consent in HubSpot.